Hello everyone, welcome my channel WPF, and in this video tutorial just I am going to design a registration page in WPF. So the basic rules behind the registration page is to design a page that is in the XAML file, and just I am going to add a new file that we have that is the page is the register window.xaml file. And here I'm going to add a XAML code with the title is register, width is 400, height is 400, and window startup location is center screen. Now just I'm going to add a row definition first of all. So here I'm going to add border. First of all, border brush is gray, border thickness is 1, corner radius is 10, and margin is 20. Now we have a grid row definition with the 9 lines of grids with the auto, and the last one is the height, that is star. And the next one is the column definition. So here we have two column definition, that is width is auto and width is star. Now one by one you have to assign the labels as well as the text boxes in the grid by using their grid.row and grid.column properties. Also you can use grid.col span as well as the row span. Now each content, you know that how to add in the WPF. That is very simple to design this by using the grid, and you know that that is the simple page you have to design for the registration. And that is the registration page to design, very simple. Now here we have a grid.column definition. So here we have a registration page. Now you can see in the border size, that is the round corner shape, and here we have a username, password, confirm password, and lots of text boxes like the first name, last name, email, phone, etc. And here you know that here we have a two grid uh, column definition, and each control in the column that is placed in the right side, the first column. So you can see that the horizontal alignment is the right side and the margin is the same, that is the 0 to 10. You know that is the horizontal alignment, that is the right of the each control, that is the username that is placed in the right side of your the first column, and the left side you can just assign, that is the by default of the second text boxes, or you can say that control. Okay, now that is the XAML code, and each you know that each controls actually used in the code behind file. And now in that later videos just I am going to use MVVM. You know that in the previous video just I am going to describe about the MVVM pattern. So according to the MVVM, just we are designing a new login page on the basis of the MVVM, but here I'm going to discuss only for the registration, that is that save the information of the customer or user or the employee into the database system by their on the click of button control, and also validation is applied um, on these controls. Okay, so here we have a button click event. When we click on the register button, that validation will be applied first of all. Okay, so you know that each of validations is necessary, that like that each of control is necessary, like username is necessary, and password is mandatory, first name, last name is mandatory, email and phone number is also mandatory. So these all are required. So first you can check is null or empty or white space. So string dot is null or white space. So username is message box, that is please enter a username. Is null or white space for the password, is null or white space for the first name, is null or white space for the last name. and the message box that show please enter a username, please enter a password, please enter your first name, please enter your last name, and return back to the application. Okay, so this is the simple steps you can do in WPF if you want to design a register page in a WPF. Okay, so that is a very simple steps you can do. Okay, so here we have private and is null or empty white space first name, everything is clear. Now the next step is to use password confirmation. You know that the both the passwords are matched. So the second validation control, second validation is applied. The first validation is the required validation. So here I'm using string dot is null or white spaces. But the second validation is applied on the password and the confirm password. So confirm password is also a mandatory on the behalf of if you want to match both the password and the confirm passwords. So first of all, get the confirm password in a variable, and after that you have to check both the password and the confirm password is equal. If the both the password and the confirm password is equal, then you go for the proceed. Otherwise, you can just return back to the UI, that is password and confirm password not matched. Okay, that is the very simple steps you can do. So here we have. So first of all, just I am going to check all these are required fields. Is null or white space email, is null or white space phone number, and username and the password, and each are written back. Without filling the first step, then you not go for the second step. That is the if you if you fill a username, then you go for the password. Otherwise, you not go for the passwords. Okay, so that is the very simple. So now just go add confirm password. Just get the confirm password from your control on a variable. Now after that you have to check string dot is null or empty white space just after the password, that is confirm password. Please confirm your password. And now after that you have to check password dot equals confirm password. If it is not equal, then just return the message box dot show password do not match. So password is here, we have a fields. So password dot equals that is the confirm passwords. Okay, so everything is clear. Now the validation is applied, but here I'm using another validation for the registration process that is used for the second validation is used on or applied on the email, because just I want to know what is the email address, and the correct email address you have to enter in the box. And you know that the correct email address that actually email address is follow regular expression. Okay, or you can check that yes system.net.mail.address. So here I'm using system.net.mail address for checking the valid email. So that is written is valid email, that is string email. So now new system.email.valid email address, just after paste it here, just after the class is just I want to paste it here. System.net.mail.mail address, that is email, and return address dot address is double equals to email. If it is email are equal, then return the bool value that is true, otherwise it is false. Okay, so it's a very simple process you can do in the WPF. Okay, so here I'm using another registration process, that is username, password, confirm password, and first name, last name, email address, and the phone. So first, you know that the first to fill. Okay, Now here we have a username, that is Jacob. Password is similar. Please enter a valid email address, because it's not a valid, because email address is used for at the rate symbol, domain information, etc. Subdomain information as well. So here we have the valid email address. Now after that you have go for the phone number, and after that when we click on the register button, I mean to say that that information will be saved into the database server. So what's going after this? So now you have to design and you have to connect with this with the database server. So here I'm using SQL Server, and you know that here we have a test WPF DB and database, and where we have already a design or you can design the new class. Okay, so add a new table inside in your database, and here I'm using DB first approach, or you can say database design first approach, and after that match with both the tables. Okay, so you design it. After design the data in the database table, you have to go for the you go for the package manager console, and where you have to add this line of code, that is the scaffold db context. And just I'm going to add server local db, that is the connection string where we have to connect the database table. Microsoft.entity framework code.sql server, that is the provider. That's after that output directory, that is the models. So now after when we just and press the hit button, enter button, then you know that that is already created in the data section. And here we have a test WPF DB context is created, that is inherited with the DB context class. Now after that you know that here we have a on configuring method with the lambda expressions where your connection string is there. Now also a virtual DB set, that is the user, is also created. Now on the behalf of your query, you have a already a model entity is created. In the entity, user entity is has key to table user is created, property name, property email, first name, like that, phone, username, last name, etc. Okay, so in the register window.cs file, you have to connect with this entries with the user table, or you can say that model. Okay, so here we have a new user, that is the model class, where username, password, first name, last name, email, and the phone is connected. Now after that, we have to go for the context.users.add. And what is the context? Context is actually added that file db context class in the data section. So here I am using .NET Core in Visual Studio 2022 instead of .NET Framework. So that is the new technology you can use, new technique you can use in a WPF to connect the data with the database table. Okay, so everything is fine. Now you can see here we have a registration page, and username, password, confirm password, first name, last name, email, and the phone number is there. Now after that, when we hit the register button, you will see that your data will be inserted into the database, and now got a message on the message box. Okay, now the message box dot show user created successfully. Okay, so here we have a context dot users dot add user, context dot save changes, message box dot show user created successfully. Okay, thank you guys for watching this video, and keep watching all other videos which is related to WPF. And in the next video tutorial, this time I'm going to use MVVM pattern login model. Okay, so wait for some times. I will design the login model in WPF on the behalf of on the basis of MVVM pattern. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget, please subscribe my channel and also press the bell icon if you want to get more about WPF.